loved music. We went to Daytona Beach together, and her and I would walk and walk and walk, and I'd say, Mom, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, we better get in, we want to get up for the sunset. She says, no, let's just walk another couple more hotels up, and we'd turn around, and I'd say, it's way back there. She'd say, that's okay, and we'd walk. As Barb will probably come up and say, that Christmas wasn't Christmas without Mom doing Can't Blow the Candle Out. I mean, that was a must. And maybe, you can give everybody a little taste of it. She drove a gray 1962 Volkswagen Beetle. It had lime green Flower Power stickers on it that you couldn't miss. We knew, right? And we'd make our way every week down to Albion Hills for our picnics together. She was nicknamed Leadfoot Joni because she just had a lead foot in that car, and she loved to go. Her favorite takeout was a Harvey's hot dog. She was really in heaven when she had a Harvey's hot dog. And she liked warm beer with just a touch of salt in it. Barb and I, as children, we used to, sweets and treats were not very plentiful in our house. So Mom would freeze the Girl Guide cookies, thinking that Barb and I wouldn't touch them. But now Barb and I won't eat a Girl Guide cookie unless it's frozen. It was the best. I remember we lived on Four Parent Avenue, and we lived right across from my public school, and I used to ride my bike round and around the school. And Mom would stand there in the front door, and she'd say, okay, and she'd count how many times I could go around, and she always counted, it was 9. I had to come in at 9. We had fruit trees on Parent. We had apples, pears, peaches, raspberries, strawberries, rhubarb. She, supplied her family with all this fruit. Instead of buying it, we picked it, and if it was wormy, that was okay. That's the best. She used to plant mint, and our next door neighbors had, believe it or not, 10 to 13 cats. And she'd plant the mint, and cats are really into mint. I used to tease her all the time because she'd say, I'm going to go pick some mint for our Sunday night lamb. And I used to say, oh, there's cat pee on it and it smells. But we all ate it the same, and it was just, She made me handmade dresses. She would go to the fabric store, and she'd buy fabric, and she'd make me the prettiest little dresses, all by hand. She, as Michael said, that she worked so many jobs. She catered weddings. She'd come home at 3 o'clock in the morning and catering a wedding, and she worked at Johnson's Matthey. And I believe it was the age of 55, 58, I'm not sure. She took herself through nursing school. I remember her working on nursing projects way, way into the night. She passed with honors and worked as a registered nursing assistant, working at Sunnybrook and Humber Memorial. Mom loved Jesus, and she brought all of us up loving him too. My memories could go on all day. She was just the best. Love you, Mom, till we meet again. And my daughter has a little something that she saw the other day that she'd like to say.
Okay, so Saturday night of her passing, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I kept on wondering if she was okay and if she was dancing. She came, and I heard her voice in my head clearly saying, I'm okay, darling. I'm dancing now. And I was so thrilled and happy that she was okay. The next day, I went to Valley Village, and I went up to one of the aisles, and out of all the sweaters that were available, there was a red cardinal standing right out of nowhere saying, "I'm okay, and yesterday night was real." And I will forever cherish all her values, all the memories, and until we meet again.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm her daughter, Barbara, and the shirt that my mom was wearing when she went home to be with Jesus was a red t-shirt, and it had a cross on it, and it said Courts of Praise Evangelical Church, and that's Pastor Bob's church. She loved that church, and it was just like, wow, that's the one she wore, and now she's in the Courts of Praise. Just want to tell you that I was with her when she passed, and she was not afraid. She wasn't in pain. She was in complete peace. A few days ago, and many times before, she said, "Jesus Home Soon Dahling." I was thankfully with her when she closed her eyes, just to open them again, face to face with Jesus. She graced this world for 94 and a half years until the last moment. She was healthy right up until then. She was truly a saint. I couldn't fault her for anything. She never complained, ever, seriously. God had a mighty purpose for her life, and boy, did she ever live it. She had the cutest sayings. Shh, I'm younger now, for every birthday. She loved babies and doggies and kitties and men with beards. She would always point to them. Her cottage was water, water, and fish and chips were dead on the floor. Her car was called Black Black, even when we changed it to another one that was maroon. And when you wore flip-flops, she would point and say, "Don't like it, darling." Words can't describe how much I love my mummy. And I dreamt the night before she died that I'd won $888 million. And today I got up and I put on my mom's underwear that she gave me that day when I was with her when she passed. And boy, I believe 888 is an eternal number, and it was just God preparing me for that. They are all together now with the creator of the universe, and she is in her mansion with my daddy. Her last song was La 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 to the tune of Jesus Loves Me. No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. Okay, my mom at Christmas dinner, she used to say there were 3 sisters, and they all had sort of facial deformities. And what happened was she had a candle in front of her, and the first girl came up and she was, "I can't blow the candle out." Well, maybe this sister can do it. So the other sister came up, and she was like this, "Can't blow the candle out." So then the third sister came up, and she was like this, "Can't blow the candle out." So my mom would go, blew the candle out.
Thank you. So that's where we get our humor from. Amen. Yeah, for sure. No, I just want to make available anyone that has something to share. For sure.
So I didn't really have much time to prepare this, so I'm going to be reading it right from my phone. This started out as a Facebook post, kind of now has snowballed into me standing up here doing this. So just a forewarning, I'm not the greatest at public speaking, so bear with me. So I wrote on my Facebook that I never got a chance to meet my Grammy before her accident. In 1985, she was hit by a car, which resulted in disability and speech impairment. I can't imagine how difficult it was for her children to cope with such an accident. Grammy was a hardworking mother of 5 who lost her husband, Frank, when my mom was just a little girl. Frank was a popular composer and singer-songwriter, and during Frank's musical career, he wrote a song which I know now is titled "Somebody's Waiting for You." When Frank passed, Grammy was widowed and left raising 5 kids on her own. she would sometimes work 3 different jobs just to put food on the table. Nothing could stop the love that she had in her heart, not even being hit by a car while crossing the street. She still had work to do, love to give, and joy to spread with her beautiful smile. For anyone who's met her, you've likely had your heart melted by her singing and hilarious way of describing things. I'm honored to have inherited even a fraction of both Joan and Frank's genes. I can only dream of growing a family as big as this and as wonderful as everybody here. And I can only wish to have even an ounce of my grandfather's musical talent. So, Grammy, somebody has really been waiting for you. It's bittersweet, but I'm happy you're home now with your husband. I'm sure you're busy celebrating with my sister. And everybody else that's been waiting for you. So there's a few more things that I would like to add to this. To an outsider, Grammy may have seemed like she had a disability, but for me, that's not the case. To me, that's just the way she was. It's the way I've always known her. She was perfect. The truth is, Grammy had plenty of abilities. She had the ability to make you smile. Her laughter and smile could light up the room. Just one greeting, "Hello, darling," and your worries would wash away. She was infectious. Grammy would never forget who you are, even if she mistakenly called me bad boy. I was quick to remind her that no, that's my brother Jesse. He's bad boy, older boy. And she would reply, "Really?" And I'd say, "Yes, Grammy, that's right." She would say, "I love you." Another of Grammy's abilities was the ability to love everyone and everything. It didn't matter if she was meeting you for the very first time. I'm sure within minutes you'd be hearing "good boy" or "good girl," followed by "I love you." In fact, she loved all walks of life, so much so that she seemed to have a never-ending collection of sweaters with pictures of her favorite animals, kitties and doggies, and scenes of wolves running through the forest. This is who she was. She loved everyone and everything. Unless, of course, it was black, don't like it. Even then, she could easily be convinced that my cat Blackie was a good girl, too. She had a great concept of time. Actually, I'll skip this one. Grammy also had an amazing sense of humor. Every year on her birthday, if you would ask her how old she is, she would respond, "Younger now." And the way she would describe a fish, and what it's like to go on a roller coaster could bring tears of laughter. You see, to me, Grammy only had abilities. These are all things that even we forget to do sometimes. And if there's anything that we can learn from Grammy, it's that the key to a long, fulfilling life is to smile more, laugh, tell the people that you care about that you love them, have a sense of humor, and at least one sweater with a picture of your favorite animal on it. But there's one last thing that Grammy never forgot to do, and that was to remind everyone that Jesus, my home. Thank you.
That was awesome. I think you hit the nail right on the head there. Just everything Grammy had was an ability, not a disability. It was an ability. I mean, there was things that she did that, in our lives we need to remember to do, and she just did. What a privilege. Was Uncle Chris, did you have something? No? Okay. Was there any? I just don't want to miss anyone else. We're good? Just kind of going off what Jamie shared, and that was just awesome. Thank you. I know I'd read part of that Facebook the other day, and just to think of, Rick and Lee and I were talking earlier, and it's interesting, we got a glimpse of both Grammys. And I remember when Grandma would come with her flowered suitcase. She's probably still got it somewhere. You know where it is, Barb? And she would come and take the Greyhound bus to Port Dover, and she was very, I guess without any disrespect, more serious. And so that was Grandma. And so we knew that aspect of Grandma, and always loving and caring, just different than now. And but those are things that we were privileged to know Grammy for. To go to 4-Parent Ave, I'll never forget. I don't know, Rick, did you think that pink mushroom thing that was on the front lawn. Do you remember that? I didn't know what that was. What was that anyway? Is it water? All right. It's kind of weird looking, but I always wondered as a kid. And then where Sue used to ride your bike, do you remember going down the tobogganing hills there? And I always thought I was going to hit always thought we were going to hit the monkey bars, down there. And I remember Christmas in that little house, how they fit everybody. And Aunt Liz, it was your late husband, Uncle Mike, that I remember him holding a big, it was like a Dominion sign. He said it was a hunk of wood. And I think somebody had made a nice, and he said it, I never forget that. And of course, Uncle Mike worked at Dominion. And it was just, those were such fun times. It was times of laughter. And as a little kid, we were laughing because I didn't know. I thought it was just me that was scared. But you go down to the basement, and the big black piano, and the black and white tiled floor, and it was scary down there. But upstairs was just full of love. And I'll never forget, the smell of those bedrooms, and everything was always so tidy and neat, and the pink and white tile in the bathroom. That stuff's probably in style now. But just wonderful memories. I even remember the dog Terry, and so that's going way back. But Christmas time was a celebration there, and there was just so many. And that actually, those were times, now that I think, before the accident. So those are times of just such celebration and such things. I could tell you where I was in the living room, the family room of our home, and listening to, of all things, B.J. Thomas. It was a Christian album at the time when Grandma's accident had happened. And I remember at that time the thought was that she would probably die and not live. And I remember praying for her, and that, don't take my grandmother from me. And so we've sort of, as the older grandson, we've experienced the goods and the bads and all of those things. But truly, she was a joy. And what I couldn't have said it